The calendar is a specialized type of list. It has the same kinds of columns that our other lists do, like our links list and our task list. But it has other attributes as well, and one of them is the ability to put it into a calendar format, just like this. So this is one particular view, and when you and I think of a calendar, this is probably what we think of. But this isn't the only way we would like to see this calendar. So when you take a look at a calendar app, you'll find that it also will have a view that's called events. So all events, including historic events, events in the past, and current events that are in front of us. So here's a list of events. We have, for example, a new employee orientation that's taking place on the first Monday of every month now and well into the future. So there are lots of those. But we also have some non-recurring items like an open house and the launch of the Inside Sport website coming up. So this is one way that we can take a look at this list. Or we can say, no, actually, I liked it better when it was just a calendar. And here's what our calendar looks like. And because this is a calendar, we can do things with this calendar that we'd do if we were in a calendar in Outlook. So if we go to calendar, you'll notice that we have a week view, a day view, and a month view. We have the ability to expand and collapse the height of these rows, which is really nice. So the calendar frame gives us more room. We also have the ability to overlay calendars, and this is a little bit complex to set up at first, but then it's just fine to use, so it's well worth your time. I want to show two calendars here, actually. There's no need for me to keep track of everything on one calendar, because as well as this corporate calendar that we have for events, I also have another calendar app, a training calendar. Let's go take a look at that real quick. And that actually lists training events. We have a lot of training scheduled here in August. And you'll notice that when I switch to this calendar, it's now blue, just like my regular calendar was blue when I looked at it. So this is a default that simply matches the theme. I want to go back to my calendar, and I want to add the ability to see the training calendar in an overlay. I'm going to click the Calendars in View button, and the other choice I could do is I could come up here and say Calendars Overlay, and it would bring me to the same place as if I simply click Calendars in View right here, and it says, okay, what's the calendar you want? Click New Calendar. I wish this said Add Calendar because we're not going to create a calendar here. If we wanted to create a calendar, we'd go to Site Contents and we'd add a calendar app. What we're going to do is actually locate a calendar, and there are two types of calendars you can show. You can show your own calendar in Exchange, which would be your Outlook calendar, or a shared calendar in Exchange that you have access to, or more commonly, we'll show a SharePoint calendar. So I'm going to tell it that the name of the calendar is Training. This is an opportunity for me to rename this calendar as it would show in this view. So if this calendar were simply named Calendar, I can say Training Calendar here or simply Training. I can add a description for it if I wish. And then what I want to do is tell it to go ahead to our site and resolve, and it will show me the calendars that exist. Notice that it says working on it up there on the right, and it's taking a second. And it says, well, we've got some lists that we can show in a calendar view. One is our tasks. That's an interesting thought, all the tasks that are due. But I want the training calendar. And I don't want it to always show in this view, but I do want it to show right now. So I'm going to say OK. Notice that training is now visible in the view, and I'm going to click OK. And when I flip forward here to August, there's my calendar showing both the standard calendar, which now feels like it could have another name fruitfully, like corporate calendar or headquarters calendar, and training. Now, if I wish, I can go back and say, well, show me training again. Just training. Isn't that cool? Go back to calendars in view, and I can switch a new calendar, but I don't need to. I can go right back to my calendar because it's my main calendar that has both of these calendars in the view. So as soon as I drill down into just the training calendar, it's actually taking me to my other calendar that does not include my default calendar in the view. This one does. That's pretty cool. So I can choose to have up to 10 calendars displayed in a view, and it can be a mix of calendars that live with me in SharePoint or calendars that are in Exchange. But this way, I don't need to have one centralized calendar in the same way that I used to. So if I have 9 departments and each of them has their own calendars, but they're here on my SharePoint site. I can create one view that's our corporate calendar or the all departments calendar and simply pull in each of those calendars one after another. So easy to do here by choosing calendar and view and picking up another SharePoint calendar. Those are the kinds of choices that we get here because we're in a calendar as opposed to another type of list. I can also go back. I can create a new view if I wish. I can modify this view that I have. I can add columns if I wish, just as I would in any other list. But the heart of what we'll do in calendars is mostly right here. The ability to change the scope from day to week to month, and the ability to overlay more than one calendar so that we can see different people's vacations, different departments' training and events calendars, and so on.